for real though, this is a trigger warning. The following episode contains depictions of sexual assaults and
unajua hadi mimi unani
suicide.
Hadi mimi nakuwa brief
hata mimi nakuwa brief.
So viewer discretion is advised. For a time I went to boarding school. Now that time I went to boarding school, I would say, because it is part of the conversation today, I would say that was the first time I kissed a girl.
Ooh, was it like a girls' school?
It wasn't a girls' school. It was like a mixed boarding primary school. Catholic. We should abolish boarding schools. The unrest we are having right now in boarding schools is just because literally they're boarding schools.
Yeah.
I feel like kids will thrive better when they just stay home with their caregivers. Because what you're doing is taking kids away from their caregivers and then putting them in survival mode and expecting them to behave rationally. Anyway, no, the real reason why I didn't do CRE was because I got a 0. At some point, I was genuinely convinced I have prayed the gay away.
Ooh.
Until
Damn.
until I developed a crush on someone that I ended up dating, by the way.
In high school. I knew it!
The Kenya high school experience has shaped me as a person. I think a lot of the empathy and my ability to connect with people came from there.
Welcome to GITHERI Diaries, a series by the GLM podcast. The stories shared in this episode are based on personal experiences and opinions of our guests. They are subjective and may not fully represent the reality or current state of any school or institution mentioned. The GLM podcast does not claim these stories as fact, but as individual perspectives shared for conversation, reflection, and entertainment. Enjoy. You remember that 5 a.m. wake-up bell? Cold showers. Chapati day excitement. From walimu wanakuja to last-minute preps before exams.
Schools in Kenya are never just schools. They are a whole experience. Welcome to GITHERI Diaries, where we relive the drama, the stories, the trauma, and the whole experience.
Hi, third wheelers. Welcome back to another episode of GITHERI Diaries.
Yay!
You are with me, or we? Guy, unajua ni wakati tumetoka kusema tu sai watu tu confuse sometimes not ita we know Bridget.
So, introduce ka we know me introduce ka Bridget.
Okay, you're with me, or we know.
And I'm Bridget.
Kasina.
I hope you guys are excited. I hope you had an amazing time from the previous episode.
Guys.
From the previous episode, I think we learned how education is important, how we need to understand things. And conversation is important, actually. So I appreciate the feedback.
Sana hapo kwa education is important.
Yeah, like we appreciate it. And like I feel in such a learning experience for everyone. For sure. And kuna room for improvement, kuna room for conversation. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I'm like, I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much for watching the previous episode. Leo tuko na another amazing episode. Zote zinakuanga amazing episodes, honestly. Yeah. We have an amazing episode. We have fun facts. Is wote tulikuwa shule moja, tulikuwa the same high school. Yeah, tulikuwa the
what
same.
was the thing we were doing for like Pango? I feel like there was something. No, it wasn't a clock in. It was there was something we used to do in Form 4. That even it was like like snaps, maybe. Like I don't remember well.
Yeah,
it was something like
school
that.
7 years ago.
7 years.
Yeah.
Let's pause. That's a long time ago.
Poesha.
First of all, 20s. Yo.
It's okay. It's good to be old. But yeah, fun fact is what we learned at the same high school.
Different classes.
Yenye ilikuwa for
Emerald ilikuwa.
Were you guys for and shit?
Where? We were never for
G.
40 and 4G, you guys were
competing. Like
you guys were there. Us guys were there with S. and pee.
Mlikuwa huko chini.
Sema pole.
I think mnajaribu.
Thanks.
Kwa uwezo wenu.
But Kasina alikuwa chopi.
Shout out to for
chopi.
Imagine squad chopi.
Babe.
Let me tell you guys, you have a vision from Nikingeyo shule. Nikingeyo shule nilikuwa chopi.
Oh wait, ulikuwa KCP ulipata 430 something. So ulikuwa
438.
class number.
Mimi ndo nilikuwa number 1 kwa hiyo class.
Exactly, ulikuwa class number 1.
Yes, I was. Ni mimi walikuwa naongelelea. That's the memory you have.
Yeah.
But like throughout high school, I wasn't performing that well. Because your grading system was you guys remember that grading system was
Wow.
The grading system was crazy. So nilikuwa tu in my B's and C's era. Actually never B's, C's and D's era.
Ulikuwa na feel your pressure. Okay, context guys, tusipoteze watu.
Tukianza Pangani lingo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We should be cognizant of that. Okay.
So in high school we used to be ukiingia form 1, we used to have class numbers. So class numbers ilikuwa whoever got the highest mark kwa hii class yenye imeingia ya KCPE. So kina Kasina watu walikuwa na 430 something. Walikuwa na class number 1 2 3 na yada. All the way to watu maybe walikuwa na 380s, all the way to like
360s, 70s.
Yeah.
Umeniangalia just because I didn't get a 400 and
represent.
nimejeka tu na 490
Ungefika otherwise
7360
So ilikuwa class number 1 all the way to like class number 200 and something. Kina nini
our class was like 270 something, 290 something actually.
No, it was per class, like class number 1 to class.
No, there was an official list for like 1 to 270.
Yeah, there was
which
that.
was our indexing. Actually, that's how I was indexed too.
True. I was indexed to some.
I was also 100 and something.
Oh, really?
So that's the position you came in overall in Form 1.
Yeah, Jumi nakumbuka ilikuwa a shock, like I got like 400 marks on the dots and I felt like nimepass till I went to Form 1. Alafu Kasina ako na 438 uko.
But they ulikuwa na 438.
Nilikuwa 438.
Ooh.
I actually went to the state house for that. It was amazing. Back when we had a proper government in place.
Ooh.
So
Tell us the program and how it
that
went.
program was amazing. It was by Margaret Kenyatta. So she opened, it was called Pupils Reward Scheme or something like that, if I'm not wrong. And she will just bring all the high performers from every county, literally every county, and bring us together. And she will take us to State House. Literally, it was literally like a getaway. We'd go there. We had like a whole place in the compound. And she was preparing for like a marathon at that time. So she'd wake us up at like 5. We ran my worst part, but the rest was amazing. The food, and then we'd like travel places. We went to Parliament, and so they were just taking us through like different offices. We went to the like office of the president. We all sat on the chair. Yes, we did. All sat on the chair. She was like, I want you to know you can make it. Like, she was so sweet.
Nice.
She is so sweet.
Wait, like, did you
so
guys have your
sweet.
own rooms called State House?
We did. No. So they have, it's like a dorm actually. It's like a hostel somewhere in the compound. And so you'd find number 1 from Makueni County, from Kisii, in how it looks like is different high schools. So kuna watu wa Pango, watu wa Alliance, watu wa Kenya High.
Wameenda to those schools.
Yeah, because they've gone to those schools. Exactly. But it was a fun experience. And they were doing it in cohorts as well.
Yes.
So the number 1s with the number 1s, number 2s, then number 3s, like that. Yeah. It was nice. And I remember at that time, there was also an initiative of the government in Nyumba Kumi, and they were training us literally in like such a setting, exactly how that implementation would look like. So they would have our own like Nyumba Kumi system going, just to educate us on policies and stuff like that. It was a beautiful government.
Mlikuwa mnatitiwa like future leaders.
Exactly. Nice. Beyond Zero, she took us through the whole thing and what she was doing. Like, it was amazing. Margaret was doing amazing things.
Tablets.
We're given tablets. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah.
I know that because my best friend, I told Jacobette from home, she went.
Sorry.
She went for she's my best friend.
Okay, I have a best friend as well. She's called Nelly.
You miss me when we're not recording. This moment right here.
Akona jina kama hiyo.
And it's
Nelly or something.
Nelly polite, but then we go up period.
Yeah, so I remember like she went as well. Na ilikuwa alafu so ilikuwa so cool. Alikuwa na tablet form 1.
Yeah, like, it was so cool. Oh my god.
Tulikuwa rich kids.
Tulikuwa rich kids, exactly. Tulikuwa tunakando rich kids. Hey, I loved that. I loved that so much. Okay. So that was the first time Nili interacted with Ngarari, our principal. The next time I interacted with her in that office again,
it was for dipshit.
Well.
Before to pick up, so I hope we get like the context. We wanted to talk about Pangani girls, but we really did have different experiences at all.
Yeah,
and we did actually
that we did. But different.
Oh no, alikuwa na classmate akona dildo. Class yenyu sijui.
Wewe unaanzaje hapo wewe?
Nasema tu.
Oh yeah, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot. Oh my god, I remember.
Yeah. We were in the same school, but very different experiences. But maybe I think you could take us through your Kenyan school experience, even from like Atakamani, like Akadibri for primary, and till how you landed to 438.
Manzani nilipataje 438, you guys.
Then uni.
Wow. Yeah. I've always been blessed. Anyway,
man.
I'm just kidding. So I started school when I was really, really young, at 2 years old. My mom had me when she just finished high school. So she was like 19, 20 thereabout. Imagine. So the most recent story I have, obviously. So the most like recent story I have of what happened with my biological father, who I consider like a sperm donor.
Sperm donor for sure, yeah.
Exactly. Sijai muona ever. So one of my uncles told me, anyway, walienda kwa familia, and the family was just like, no, not our monkey, not our circus, not our nothing, take care of it, deal with it. So my mom is like, cool. So anyway, she had me, but she had to go to school. So I was moving around with like my relatives. So I started school when I was like 2 years old. And between 0 to almost 5, it was just from here to here, here to here, here to here. So my mom was in school. And my mom was very ambitious. I think I get that from her. She was very ambitious. So she went to like college, did her first diploma, her second diploma, higher diploma. Like she was all about setting up herself. I think at that point she was just like, she's a mom now and she has to take care of things. Of course, yeah. So by the time we started living together, alimaliza shule, and then she was first posted to Kijabe. I don't know if you guys know Kijabe. Kijabe Hospital. So that was the first place we ever lived together. I was maybe like 4 years old. So at this point, since I was moving around so much, I don't remember doing my preschool yote, like baby class, nursery, pre-unit. I think I did something there.
Okay.
But when I started living with my mom, and then, after she went to Kijabe, we stayed for a while, maybe less than a year. She was transferred to Makueni, which is now where I've lived most of my life. So after that, now looking for new school and stuff, I just go do the exams, and they just tell me, you know what, we can get class 1. So I entered class 1, I was like less than 5.
Typically class 1s wanakuanga 6 years.
Exactly. Up or there about. But I was
class 5. In case anyone is asking.
Ulikuwa?
Class 5.
Ulikuwa 5 years. Ulikuwa 5. Me, I was less than 5 at that point. But I went to like a Catholic mission school. Oh my goodness. I went to a Catholic mission school and nikaingia class 1. So I started school at class 1 in that private school. It was nice. And now, monumentally, that was the first place I went to boarding school. So class 1. I know, guys.
Boarding class 1.
Class 1. So
Poesha.
I know. It is crazy. But because my mom, again, a very ambitious woman by any standard, she felt she couldn't trust anybody to take care of me. I think she knew on some level, like my experience with my relatives hadn't been that great. Okay. Like just moving around. Yeah. I hadn't had a very nice childhood. By that point, I've already had my first gunshot. Like my uncle was just shot next to me in their house. That was crazy. They were robbed. And then it was like robbery with violence. You guys do know, like actual violence. He was shot. He survived.
5 years.
Yeah, this is before I'm 5 years. Imagine that. So at that point, my mom is just like, okay. So anyway, it was for like a term. For a term, I went to boarding school. Now that time I went to boarding school, I would say, because it is part of the conversation today, I would say that was the first time I kissed a girl.
Ooh, was it like a girls' school?
It wasn't a girls' school. It was like a mixed boarding primary school, Catholic.
Hallelujah.
Did I put Catholic in there?
Yeah.
Catholic mission school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's this girl. She was really cute, really pretty. We were neighbors actually, like in the same like plotty, you say apartment, plotty. And we got close. Even her, she was in boarding for whatever reason. I think our moms had also kind of similar stories, and so we ended up being kind of close. Bad close.
Class 1.
I don't know where we got it from. I think at that point it was from the rom-coms. It was from
TV.
TV. It was mostly from TV. It was mostly from TV.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I remember that an experience of kissing a girl. That was interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, now we can live
Ilikuwa deep like mate ama.
the first time.
Imagine you go class 1.
It was many times.
Oh, it was many times.
Yeah, it was many times after the first time. So
Like ama.
the first time was just a mwah.
Then you can
And then you just feel like, oh my God, what is that? What is that? And then you, of course, you're gonna do it again. Your kids, you're going to do it again. And then it was just our nice little secret. And then I transferred out of that school.
Still in class 1.
After that year ended. I wasn't doing well. And also, let me say something else interesting. I was in this size, just maybe if the camera can just look at me. I was in this size. I was like an eighth of the size. I was so tiny, so malnutrition. I literally had to go to nutrition, like to see the doctor for nutritional supplements and stuff. Like I was so tiny.
Ini coming from the diet ya shule.
No, not
in general.
just in general.
Okay.
Just I guess the whole upbringing really. And then anyway, I transferred to this school. Now this is the school I schooled for the rest of primary school. Another private school still, I will mention. It was a nice private school. Like the one that was performing the best at that time. And you remember during our times, those things mattered so much. Like the ranking of the school was something that was really like...
Juu cabinet secretary alikuwa ana ata minister. Anasimamisha the whole country for a whole day to release the best schools, the best
Exactly.
students. So
The ranking thing. I'm glad that's one of the benefits of CBC, I guess, because that ranking thing really was, And at that time, my mom was obviously struggling financially as hell, and it was expensive even for that time. It was really expensive. I remember my mom would pay that in like installments. Literally, it was very, very so to that effect. That's what I guess that's how I ended up like being bright, because when you see your parents struggle to put you through school, and you're like, well, you gotta work hard. Exactly, to pull in the weight. So I went to this school from class 2 to class 8. This is where all the rest of the development happened.
Boarding school still?
No. So I went to day school for class 2 and class 3, and then class 4 boarding school to class 8. Mixed still. That was an interesting experience again on so many fronts. But now in primary school I was shining, not like high school. High school I really wasn't shining academically speaking. But in primary school I was that girl. I was definitely like, I was in my 460s out of 500 era. Damn. Like on a random, and this is in like class 8. Crazy. The mocks, the county mocks, I would literally get like 498. I was so bright.
498 class 3.
Is it, how do you remember studying? Ulikuwa tu unasikiza na kila kitu imesettle, ama were you struggling to read so that you could keep up?
No.
And still be number one?
Okay, I think for me, because I had all these other stresses at home, nilikuwa mtu kushika kwa blackboard. Teacher akifunza, I'm there, like I am focused because I am also the kind of kid who is very napenda kusumbua watu. I was the noise maker, very chalant all over the place. So when people are not reading, that's when I want to read. So anyway, no, mi nilikuwa understand teacher akifunza kwa blackboard. So I'd really get all the concepts, and I would ask questions. People didn't like me because of that. Because I want to understand as the teacher is there. So I would ask like 50 questions to make sure, and everybody's like, it's break time. But I'm like, no, who doesn't want to study? Why don't you? I was such a nerd.
Like na imagine being Kasina in the class.
Mimi ningekuwa wale wa kasi. Mimi ningekuwa tu nakuchukia tu niko utiani.
Trust me, that's how most of my classmates felt. That's definitely how most of my classmates felt. So again, I didn't have many friends.
Yeah.
Because I guess because of that. Juu kila mtu alikuwa anaona.
Hadi machana wako wanakupenda.
No, kwanza up until like class 7 I didn't have real competition. Like when I call it real competition, I mean like mimi niko 450, mwenye ananifuata kwa 430 or 420. Like it wasn't real competition. So even my standard and what was wrong with our teachers with umepata 98 but they still have to ask you the 2 marks where are they? So
and it's out of 500.
And it's out of 500 exactly. So for me it was more the teachers were pushing me on my level still, despite the fact that so I didn't have it that easy. Exactly. Like my targets were always high. So I always kept pushing myself. Of course I had lows. It wasn't always high. Yeah. Definitely. But overall it was always high. So now in class 7. Oh my goodness. What can I call that? Corporal punishment. It was terrible. Tulikuwa tunachapwa everywhere. Like, what is the obsession with making people like bend over? Like ops wako ni 14-year-olds. Actually, not even 14-year-old, 12-year-olds. Those are your ops. Like, we used to be beaten. But then again, my mother also beats me like that. So
okay.
It really, to me, it was just another random Tuesday. But again, sichapwi sana pia, because you know you have to be a certain kind of indisciplined to always and me, I was kind of a good girl in that way. I'm no longer that.
Period.
Just period. But I was always kind of a good girl. I always believed, I guess, you know, do the right thing at the right time, at the right place. Stuff like that. So anyway, in class 7, I remember this girl transferred into a school, and now she was competition. She's coming from like, I think, an international school in Kitengela, and she transferred to our school in class 7. And for the first time, someone beat me. I was like, who is this? What? So this? No, actually, it was a private school. I was so we were literally 30. Our class was 15 girls, 15 boys. It was so cute also.
So girls and boys, different schools. I mean,
no,
classes, the same.
The same class, because we're just 30 of us.
Got it.
So so she came. She would put me on my toes. Now I had a nemesis. Anyway, also in class 7, another girl transferred to a school a bit older, maybe like 2-3 years older than the rest of like the popular age of the class. Mind you, I'm also still in the younger side of the rest of the class. But anyway, this girl transferred to our school. And I hadn't had friends, as you guys can tell. My friends were my teachers. In primary school, I was just like, choose me, pick me, choose me, and when you pick me, I was just like, yes, chosen. But that was primary. High school, different story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she transferred into a school, and now how should they have the prejudice of ndo anakuanga number 1, nini. So because I'm friendly, we became friends. Because she didn't have, again, the prejudice, so we became friends. And very quickly we became closer than that. Again, we became a lot closer than that. But exactly. Very
have you kissed any boy so far? Like
So far,
tangu
so
class
good, by the
4,
way.
hakuna kakrashi.
So here's the thing. I always think about it as well because I used to attract a lot of attention. Let me say I bloomed. These air quotes for those who are not listening on a visual. I bloomed early. Like by class 6, I was already starting to be voluptuous.
Yeah.
And
Calves, nini.
yeah, but unfortunately, for some reason, when you pair that with like the smarts, you become intimidating. You don't become instantly attractive. You become intimidating. People are like, yeah, she's beautiful, but she knows what's up. Even if I didn't know what was up actually, but a lot of people, I guess, people just didn't approach me randomly, haphazardly, I guess.
Okay.
But the approaches were there. But in my head, did they ever register as like attraction? I struggled to, I grappled with that concept.
Yeah.
And I remember there's this, let's call him boy because we were kids. There's this boy who alikuwa ananikatia so seriously. He would like bring me a book with a letter inside with money, with like punch.
Oh, damn.
This is in primary school. No, I know this is primary school. He was like one of the rich kids of the school, right? And he would like handwrite a letter and then put like a 500 shilling note inside. And I would read this. I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling something.
Yeah, but you're not. I was
like, I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling something, but I don't know why I'm not. But again, I think I'm just a sweet person in general. I won't to your face just say
no. Yeah.
You're ugly, get out. Or but he was actually a bright student. Okay. And so that's why I didn't even have the heart. He was good looking. He was a short king. I hope.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a grow.
I hope I'm a grow.
Ay, umemaliza tu uko nyuma. Okay, so
he was a shocking, but man, very good looking. He played football. You guys remember the status football would give you? He played football. He was a rich kid. There's that too. Had a very also. Look at me. This is what I used to think. Had a very beautiful sister. That was also. What? This is what I used to think. Like, this is me describing this boy who has a crush on me, and I'd be like, has a beautiful sister as well. Yeah. Anyway, I do remember. So I had so many of those moments, and to make matters more interesting. Our private primary school had a high school, a boys' high school next to it. So it was a group of schools. And then it has a boys' high school. Okay. So I even got attention from the boys' high school because sometimes we'd have like events that bring us together, like sports. This was a private school, just completely private. And I also used to get attention from those boys. But did I ever interpret it as attention? Like, it used just to bug me. I'd just be like, I'm getting the attention, but I don't care. And the thing is, the other girls would see that and they wouldn't treat me so well for it. It's like, how can I not see this as a privilege? Me, I'm not seeing it as a privilege at all. And mind you, I also have now a best friend, the one that transferred to a school that's giving me a lot of benefits of a friendship that I didn't know. Actually, I hadn't had a friend or like a close friend in forever. And I remember thinking, is this what people do in friendships? Like,
I see.
What? Is this? This is what they do.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why you get keep. This is why you get keep this thing. It's just all over. Like after lights out, we are there. We're literally sleeping next to each other. Sometimes, of course, on the same bed. We'd just like bring our beds close.
Hey.
And here's the thing. At that time, homosexuality was such not a concept that nobody ever. Okay, at some point now the rumors started, of course, but before the rumors, it was just they're friends. They're really good friends, and they go everywhere together.
Besties too.
Yeah, besties. And I remember just this girl had a reputation. You know, there's what someone was known for in class, right? So this one, she was known for being a pussy.
Oh.
Like a pastor.
Let's pray, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, the book of
Proverbs.
Deuteronomy 2:3 says,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do not
Alikuwa
kiss a
close to
girl.
God. Gotcha.
Exactly. So by the time the rumor started, by that time we've been kissing for a year.
wow.
Congratulations, guys.
Deep kissing, mind you. Deep. Saliva exchange.
And so many times, and that time I still had no concept, even myself, of the idea. And I think she knew. Honestly, I think she was older and she knew, because so many times she told me, this is not a friendship, it's a relationship. I'm just like, semantics. Semantics. I don't get the difference. But for her, she was like, this is a relationship. I'm like, okay, cool. So anyway, unbeknownst to me, that was my first girlfriend, right? Because I didn't realize it was like a full-on relationship until after Form 4, and we go our separate ways, of course. We are kids, no phones, no nothing. After class 8, sorry. No phones, no nothing. So we didn't stay in touch, and that's how we fell out.
And by older, alikuwa how old compared to you?
Maybe 3 years.
Okay.
Maybe 2-3 years.
So
Not
you're
that
14,
much.
No,
7.
you finished maybe at like 12?
I finished at 12.
So maybe she was like 15.
So she never got to. Did she ever get to 15? Because when I was 10, she was 13.
So 3 years.
3 years, so 15.
Yeah, age gap of 3 years.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're in a class, you notice differences like that, right? Because it's like the number of girls, for example, who have already started their menstrual cycle are like countable, and you know each other.
Yeah.
It's almost a status, and you know each other. So of course, she was always on the older side of.
Yeah.
of
Mlikuwa mna think highly of periods in your high school?
Definitely.
Hata sisi.
Definitely.
I remember there's this girl tukiwa class 5 alianza period yake like before all of us. We were all camping at her desk.
Like, unafeel aje? Even us, we definitely had that. And it was like,
enough. We used to take care of her. Unaumwa. Unataka maji like
we also had that actually. We had some kind of there wasn't as much shaming as I hear some people have gone through.
You've not started your period? Like, ilikuwa nafika point.
Oh, no, you see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we didn't have that period shaming
I genuinely had
on any
one
level.
time I hadn't started, but nilikuwa navaa pad ile tu niko. Maybe if I wear a pad, itakuja. Maybe nataka tu.
I think there was a myth that it would actually bring it down.
I used to wear a pad knowing it'll come.
Yeah.
Now look.
How many years did you wait?
I started in class 5. Ilikuja nikiwa class 7 like in 2014. So yeah.
Class 7. Mine started in class 6.
Ooh, mine
class
2014. Class 7.
Yangu ilianza Jamhuri Day, so nakwanga a national hero.
So sorry.
I actually kind of like that. Every 12th December, Jamhuri come. I started my period on that day. I'm a national hero.
Amen.
I know that's right. Anyway, so after class 8 now is when I realized, oh my God, I was actually in a relationship, because the heartbreak, I was so heartbroken. I was crying. Like, just the distance, the not seeing her, the zero, like,
there's no communication.
And there's no communication too. I was so heartbroken. That and during those times again, we used to stay a bit longer after our exams. Like, we weren't going to we went to like in Feb or March. Feb actually.
Yeah, for months had a late admission.
Yes. That changed later. So I had even more time to grieve. I was just crying. I was crying. Nobody was understanding why, until the day I got my results. Finally something got me high back to my spirit. I remember getting my results. That was nice. Allegedly, so this is the part where we start talking about the alleged stuff. Allegedly, did we steal our KCP exams? Who knows? But
Did you?
Or did you know?
No, I mean, me, I was the choppy. It's me, I was stealing for the rest. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay.
But I remember we had such a tight unit in my primary school. Shout out to all those people that I went to school with. Honestly, we were just 30 and we were a united class. We would unite even like against a teacher together. We'd stand up for ourselves together.
Nice.
Like on terms of unity and getting things done, we always got together. Yeah. So even time for revising, someone came. for revising for the exam, someone came and said, what if this is the paper? They're just like, I've gotten this paper somewhere. Do you guys want to go through it? And we went through it as a class, read the got the answers for everything. What do you know?
That's the paper.
It is the paper.
Oh. For one subject or for all?
So that happened. So for the first day, I feel like, how do you guys not know this? So for the first day, the leaked papers were the actual papers, and then they noticed that. So for the second day, it was emergency papers.
Oh yeah. Wait, first day tulikuwa tunafanya
math, English and composition.
I remember Sisi, we knew what the composition, the
first line would be. As we knew the whole paper for math, for English, for composition. Nothing caught us off guard. We were just like, oh, amazing. I literally did my math paper in 30 minutes and I checked in on everyone. I'm like, are you allegedly, of course. Yeah. I'm like, you guys okay? You guys okay? And then the second day now was a shock of our lives because we also had leaked papers, obviously. But the science Swahili, there it was just us. But again, who are we? We had contingencies. I love that class. You guys, I love you guys. Because we knew, we were like, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, this is what we're doing. Anyway, long story short, we really did well as a class. I think our mean score was like in the 400s.
Ooh, so like everyone got a 400.
Like, no, like the 380s still. You guys were still representation and inclusion was there.
Unanimaliza.
Yeah. It's okay. Who's doing a master's degree now? Who cares?
Okay. Yeah. No, but we were always like, our strategy kind of made sure we wouldn't get caught because we studied the ways of getting caught, and one of the ways to easily get caught is to have everybody score high marks and to have everybody look like they have the same answers and the same so we avoided that. We created strategies that would avoid that. I mean, that class, you guys, amazing.
That's your day ones. Shout out to
those were my day ones for real. Anyway, so when I got my results, that was my high from the low depression I had been of being abandoned by this girl.
Yeah.
Shame. I know. I was just like Mahabuba, Oh my goodness. But we did reconnect way later in campus.
Oh,
okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I got my results. I had passed. I was very happy. I hadn't realized I had passed that much because it was when I hear like the first student had like 449 in our class in our year that year. So I was in like top 10 or something.
Yeah,
but I didn't realize now I was like in my county because now I've done the exam in like Kamakuini county. It's not like Nairobi. The 449s are in Nairobi, okay? Exactly. But when you go to Makueni, I didn't realize that my score by that standard was like the highest. Yeah, I actually came to realize that now in high school after the whole thing.
Class numbers.
No, the whole thing with Margaret, the State House. Yeah. Okay. So I passed. I was really happy about that. I remember my parents panicking. What schools did you choose?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Did you choose
Pango?
I did. And let me tell you what the problem was. During our year, I remember our teachers just had zero faith. They were just like, don't write Alliance and Kenya High and the because you won't get them. They don't consider people from us, like the interior places, a lot more. So you'd rather do a school that it's not like the highest on the map, but it's still a good school. And that's how I ended up choosing Pangani. Not that I knew anything about the school.
Sisi, in our primary school, they used to si wanajua machopi kabisa. So they used to know like number 1, 2, 3 Ekeni Alliance, like number 3, 4 Wekeni Kenya High, number 5, 6 hapo. So now do Pangani, Mary Hill, Changana.
So by our teacher's logic, the better the school, the lower the number in your list. So my Alliance for me was like number 5. In as much as it's my option 1,
such nonchalance.
In as much as it would be my option 1, it's like the chances of you getting are not high. So and again also the logic is according to how everybody else performs.
Yeah.
If your number 1 fills up, you're taken to your number 2. If your number 2 fills up, you're taken to your number 3. So by that logic, if you miss all these ones, you'll have missed the smaller options, the Pangani and the Mudale girls, and then now you land at number 3 Alliance, Kenya High. So that was the logic. Anyway, that's how I ended up in Pangu.
So it was your first.
So it was my first choice. It was.
I really can't remember the criteria. I can't remember.
This was Kaimeni era.
Like Mary Hill na Kenya High.
Mary Hill was also on my list.
Yeah, Alliance was not on my list at all. Alliance
was like at the bottom of my list there. So that's how I ended up in Pangani. I remember my mom she looked up the school. She said, it's national. It's fine. We're not looking for another school at that point. So I went to Pangani with a open heart. Nimetoka now. Mtoto wa Makueni, wa ghetto, been raised in the ghetto all my life. This is the first time.
Nairobi,
in Canera. So this
how was that for you?
That was quite the experience. And mind you, I get bad culture shock. So that was like a whiplash situation. And I'm still heartbroken, first of all.
Uliingia form 1
But imagine bado niko na heartbreak. I can be this Jason. Niko this close kusema jina yako. Where? I was still heartbroken. Mahabuba wako. Please. I still love you. Anyway, I remember going to Pangani and I was hit with so many realities in Pango, especially in Form 1. It was a lot of everything. I wanted to say a little bit of everything, but it was a lot of everything. But one of my very, very first thoughts was, kuna warembo kunje.
Walai.
Okay.
Love it, because they were rainbows.
Wasichana Pango ni warembo si ati ni.
Case in point. Case in point.
Okay.
I remember sitting in my class and I'm just like, what? I just felt intimidated. I'm like, na sijui kama mnakumbuka, lakini nilikuja kama nimenyoa kiparangoto. Do you remember you guys? You probably don't remember this.
Wait, let me nakuanga na memory. It was not like bad, it was tukanyeri tudogo.
Where you basi uliona after imemea?
Like ilikuwa hapa.
Ulimwona week 3.
Because that was the culture of our primary school. Our primary school was like equality for everybody. I remember because I think that's when activism and stuff started, because there were those girls like, our hairs, long live our hairs, especially if you transfer into the school, because the school is prominent for good performance. So at some point, what parents will do at that time, the affordable thing to do would be, you school your child in a public school for the first few years, and then in the last years, you take them to a really good school.
Yeah.
Oh, and KCP.
I've had that actually.
Exactly. And there are also others who, by almost the same logic, would say, ukifanya case, when you do your exams in a private school, you're less likely to get a good high school because you're spoiled, and the government will consider people in public schools. So there was always a lot of like rhetoric going on. Anyway, so that was one of my first realities. I was like, so I'm there, clean shaven, like my face.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm looking at everybody. Everybody is so like good looking. And then again, that reality of, you think you're the number 1, but like everybody's the number 1 where they're coming from.
Okay, most. Justice for the number.
Okay. True. Yeah. but I think Pangani generally used to take
for sure
high-performing kids, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that reality hit me quite fast, because you guys just remember me as the top student, but there was another girl called Vivian who also had 438. She was in my class. That's why I was index 2. Her name came first. Her name is I know her, like I think her surname came before my surname. So she was, by that rank, she was number 1, I was index 2. She was index 1, I was index 2.
Okay.
Exactly. That was I know you can. So, and that girl now was in my class. I was like, I'm not even that bright. There's someone else here. It was from like Iten. I don't know where is that in some Iten in Rift Valley. She was from Iten. I remember that. Her name is Vivian. Shout out. So yeah, very intimidated by all that. And then, so this is the part where we say, trigger warning, this episode might contain depictions of anyway, for real though, this is a trigger warning. The following episode contains depictions of sexual assaults and
unajua hadi mimi unani
suicide.
Hadi mimi nakuwa brief
hata mimi nakuwa brief.
So viewer discretion is advised. Anyway, so at that point I was going through a lot of other things in my life as well. More specifically, just to zoom in into this, by the time I was in Form 1, I had undergone 3 years of sexual abuse and harassment from one of my mom's lovers. So yeah, that was thank you. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe out.
Okay,
so anyway, now I am very, very far from home. And my mom doesn't know this, by the way. She's still with said partner. But the good thing is,
like today.
Oh no, today.
At that time.
Today.
Okay.
Aki unafikiria ingekuwa today kweli.
Yeah.
If it was today, Anyway, so it had been about 3 years at this point. So going away from home, and then I'm in a place I don't know anyone, which is why I think, honestly, we should abolish boarding schools. The unrest we are having right now in boarding schools is just because literally they're boarding schools.
Yeah.
I feel like kids will thrive better when they just stay home with their caregivers. Because what you're doing is taking kids away from their caregivers and then putting them in survival mode and expecting them to behave rationally. Like that's one part that we're really missing. At a survival mode, you're not gonna be making amazing decisions. It's all about self-preservation. It's all about survival. Again, which is just not a good look. Anyway.
Okay, sorry to differ though. I feel like in as much as maybe I didn't like boarding, I feel like as a firstborn, I really thrived. I was also gonna get to some of those parts because my refuge was definitely boarding schools. Because tukichukua a certain take, ule msanii alikuwa hapa alikuwa anasema, but he said it wrongly, or rather in a perspective I wouldn't. The beast.
Shout out to the beast.
Shout out to the beast. But he had a point when he was saying about you can like take away the children from the literal every single day abuse going on in the household and spare them that trauma.
Okay.
I mean, his opinion obviously won't be the same as mine, because for me was a refuge. For me it was, I preferred that. I looked forward to going to school because home is too chaotic, because home is just terrible, and school was that safe haven. And again, that coupled with the fact that it was definitely a better quality of education than I would have gotten if I stayed home. Again, right? So I do get why we need boarding schools and why they're in existence in the first place. But if we really zoom into the issues and see what's happening, we can't ignore the numbers as well.
For sure.
And the deaths. That part is also crazy. Because no one deserves to lose their life like that. Anyway, back to this story, right? So niko hapo culture shock. I'm part happy, mostly shocked, but very quickly, I think this is just the way that my brain functions. Very quickly, I start thinking, how do I thrive in this place, right? Who do I need to befriend? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to work with? Who's who in the school? And at that time in Pango, cops were cops. Cops are school prefects. By the way. School prefects were school prefects. There were only 36 of them in the whole school. Super powerful. It was a very territory thing to happen. So that was the school system I entered into. And very quickly I realized I wasn't the brightest kid. Very quickly I realized I'm not that special. I'm not the beast. You guys.
The beast. Shout out to him.
Shout out. So very quickly I realized that, and that was, I think, the first time I started having hints of depression. I was not happy about it. I wasn't, and it did not motivate me at all.
This was still the first term?
This is still first term, Form 1. Okay. So after the first exam, imagine I was like number 18 in my class. So overall I was like number 80 something.
80 something, yeah.
Hey, where I looked at those results, was like, where is this? And also coming from a class of 30 students to 200 plus, 200 to 6 streams. Oh, that was crazy for me. And I didn't cope well. Oh my goodness. I give so much grace to my younger self, because it's like, wow, it was a lot. Yeah. But I didn't get motivated, to be honest. So that's how I came from like the best life to the worst life in my eyes, or in my view. Yeah. And I had an interesting class. I don't know if you remember some people from our class. Some students. I had a very, very interesting class. A very full of many characters.
Very many characters.
Where our class.
Okumbuki Bev.
Nakuka Gerono, because we were really close.
And also our stream there were only 2 streams with Muslims.
You guys had Muslims.
We also had Muslims.
Oh
my goodness, that was the first time I ever came in like close contact to like different religions, and you're like, Ati, you're doing this just because of your religion. I'm like, I think that's how I didn't do theory. I was just like, so how are we convinced ours as we are right, and they are just as convinced? They're just as convinced. I'm like, that is when I started just being like, Anyway, no, the real reason why I didn't do theory was because I got a 0.
Sorry, this is supposed to be a safe space.
Bro, 0.
You know, I was in Form 1.
Yeah,
Form 1.
Grades are hell ndio hiyo.
Kwani I'm just scared kwenye space yangu ilikuwa Form 1.
That can so
Form 1
ni shetani.
Wow.
Guy, but no, for real. So I do this cut. You remember we used to do like an opener cut, and then a midterm cut, and then the final exam, and they would all count towards your final grade for the term.
They'd count. Oh yeah.
They would count. And this cut was out of 30, and I got 0. So much that mwalimu akachora like eyes and sad face inside. And she did not like issue my paper out in class. She issued everybody's paper, and then she was like, "You see me after class." I was like, "Okay." What? So I go see her after class. She's like, "Your Faith," and she confirms, "Your Faith, right? Class number 1, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, class number 1." So she gives me the paper, and she's like, "I was very surprised. Did you steal the exam? Did you steal your KCPE exam? Because how are you class number 1? I got a 0. But it's something like you guys were saying. Our theory papers were marked by such a high standard. And Mrs. Munene, if you remember, she did not play about her. She wanted exact words. She wanted exact
quote the Bible.
Phrasing. Imagine, I'm telling you, nikachukua kwa mapasta.
Like knowledge yangu ya theory na Sunday school up to that point should have given me at least 20.
Ukiandika they na inafaa kuwa die 0.
So I got a 0. That was the moment. I was just like, nope. Yeah. So I did geography. That was nice. Speaking of geography, in Blankets and Wine, I met the daughter of my geography teacher. You know her? Yeah, Ruth. She called Ruth. Yeah, we met.
Shout out.
Yeah.
She's such a
shout
sweetheart.
out. Very.
Yeah.
Very. But the Blankets was amazing.
It was amazing.
Did you guys go?
Mi nilienda wengine.
Ulienda? Oh my god, you must have had what?
Nilikuwa soul searching hiyo siku za singemic type shit.
Trust me, it's not going to add on to the story, so just continue.
Okay. Where were we?
Fanya geography, but okay, Form 1, Term 1, but we're not choosing subjects.
We're not choosing. No, we chose in Form 2.
Form 2,
but still
the culture shock.
You remember the
Form 1,
mental dropping? That was the moment right there.
Yeah.
So Form 2, Now, in Form 1, again, something I was really suppressing and not exploring about myself was, of course, my queer self.
Okay.
After I entered Form 1, I'm like intimidated by everybody, almost attracted to half of the class by whatever new standard I'm finding. Like, I didn't even know. I was like, kwani nimeona matiti before? Like, every new layer was just like, and the teachers, T. Like, everybody is so T. And again, they were not silent about being homophobic. Like, they were not silent about saying, we do not condone this in this school. They did. It was actually quite rampant. It was actually quite rampant.
Garari, our principal, akiwa mama parade, akisema, I'd rather deal with a case of a Form 1 who's pregnant than a Form 1 who has a girlfriend
in class. Exactly.
Diabolical.
Which is diabolical. But they were not shutting up about it. And so more and more I used to feel like, ay, kwani wanajua? Like, just kind of living like I have to be very aware of hiding and suppressing it and never talking about it. And I had this fear that the moment I'd ever confide in anybody, Nivo.
Yeah.
I that was my literal fear throughout high school, like from Form 1 to Form 4. I used to feel I could, even MJ, I never told MJ.
No
ever.
way.
And we're besties. Like, I never told a single soul. Like, the struggle was so deep, it was so internal, and it was so suppressed. So by Form 2, by end of Form 1 actually, after the first weekend challenge, nikamwacha niokoke.
End of Form 1.
Ilikuwa end of Form 1.
End of Form 1. Nikasema
sina likuwa part of acha nisiseme.
Nikasema
wacha seme story yake.
So nakwambia hiyo weekend challenge ya Form 1 nayo iliniguza. I was just like, acha niokoke, let me repent. Well, and actually part of that weekend challenge was just instilling fear. And
ilikuwa ile my Illuminati videos.
That was every year, first of all. That was every year.
I really can't remember.
No, it was the shori for the horn. You don't remember this shori would just come and blow a horn in church. Well, she was not a shori. She was like
mama,
like a grandma, really.
I do remember.
And then we used to shout, we were screaming as she blows.
It was like I don't know if the right word is a horn, but it was a long ilikuwa inagive hizo vibes za tarumbeta ya mbinguni for real.
Akiblow the trumpet tunapiga nduru.
Exactly. Nakwambia I was transformed.
Kumbe liwak.
Mimi nilisikia tu naenda hell, hii tarumbeta ikiisha tu hivi. Naenda. So, nikamwacha niokoke. This is now the first time. Of course, nimekuwa adjacent to
when
the...
When did you have like weekend challenge that time?
Third time. So, ilikuwa third time.
Yeah.
So, nikasema acha niokoke. Of course, I've been adjacent to Christianity and I've been brought up in the church, as most of us have, but not ever in a... I think high school is where I started understanding spirituality and Christianity as a religion itself and stuff. Like, before then is you go to church with your parents and you go to Sunday school. That's it. That's as much as you think the indoctrination has gone.
Yeah.
So at that point I was like being intentional in like, personal relationship with Jesus and stuff, which I no longer actually have. But
praise God. No. That's well, Chinese to explain. Continue. Sorry. I love ni story ya Kasina si yangu.
Are you okay, darling?
I'm okay. Praise be to God, guys.
Ako okay, but anaogopa kukosea God.
I love Jesus.
You love Jesus.
Generally, I feel okay.
Do you love Jesus?
I do love Jesus, but my version of what is portrayed and what I believe in is completely different.
How so?
I mean, I just believe there's a supreme being who's very loving.
Very loving.
I think so. Yeah, I'm still in the journey, learning every day at a time. Honestly speaking, I'm just there learning.
You've like deconstructed
Religion,
Christianity for yourself.
Yeah. I'm just like,
How was that?
For me, not so hard actually, because I feel like in high school I did, because with primary and high school lengo ilikuwa so different, because Catholic ilikuwa a routine, prayer nini, like Rosary. You have to do it. And then with high school pia, in as much as you had to do it, like there were choices, kuna you're Catholic, kuna you're Protestant, kuna Bible study, that was not like really compulsory. Ilikuwa from your personal choice. I feel like that is when maybe I knew relationship, like how I viewed God was not like, I wasn't this, because for maybe her story is different, but yangu ilikuwa like Jenny was like, God was a friend. From there, I was just doing it because you're supposed to do it, because, but I was like,
this is before high school.
In high school.
Oh, actually, okay. In high school. Because also my high school experience is a lot like that. Yeah, a lot like that, as we'll get into it. Exactly. He's a father. He's like he's a friend. Anyway,
your story today.
Yeah. So that I got into the Christianity stuff. Now, again, I think it was very... You could choose. At the end of the day, you had to be somewhere.
You had to be somewhere,
right? Like, you had to either be in the CU, in the Islam, in the YCS.
You had to choose.
You had to be, like, on Sunday, you had to be somewhere.
On Sunday, you had to be somewhere for sure.
You had to, you couldn't just be in class and study and not go anywhere with a religious gathering. So, in Form 2, I started getting deeper and deeper into the Christianity, into the CU. Started now meeting people in the CU. And there was also auditions for IFE. Do you guys remember?
Yeah,
for St. John. You went St. John eventually, right?
No,
it
was
actually you.
Form 2.
It was just a music
in a very dramatic manner.
Yeah,
dramatic. You went to camp?
I did go to camp, but St. John, you remember vile ilikuwa inakaa like such a high profile.
It was.
Let me tell you. Wow, it was for cool.
So at the time where they did recruitment by year, apparently they forgot my name. Na nafaa kuuliza Bachu story one of these days. So since they forgot, and I went like ilikuwa on Sunday lunchtime, like I was crying.
And you remember how they used to announce them? You would just it was
could be I had forgotten the name. Do you know
this
guys
discriminative
marched
actually
all the way to my class? They did like a whole salute thing.
Oh,
nikavalishwa
wow,
like I was a celebrity for 2-3 days there.
Wow.
Because they dressed up in uniform and came all the way to my class.
Wow.
Like, that was so crazy. We had a very funny way of making life interesting. I find it funny. No, nakumbuka time from 2 tulikuwa upstairs, like atukwa.
So
they marched all the way through the stairs to my class. Did a whole
who are the CEOs during that time?
Who is this girl? And I follow her on Maush.
Lona. Kina Lona.
Maush pia.
Kina Maush.
Kina Lona.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was nice.
It was part of
nice.
Yeah, anyway, so I do remember also applying for that to join that club at that time.
It was so exclusive.
It was so exclusive.
Ilikuwa kama the Bagia High School.
Ilikuwa kama the Bagia High School. Oh my God. It was. It really was. So Form 2 got into the religious stuff. Started getting very close to the church, and at this time I'm kind of convincing myself, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I haven't thought about homosexual thoughts at all
since Christ
in 24 hours.
Yes.
It breaks immediately, I say that, but yeah, like in 24 hours. So I at some point I was genuinely convinced I have prayed the gay away.
Ooh.
Until
Damn.
until I developed a crush on someone.
Ooh.
That I ended up dating, by the way.
In high school. I knew it! Okay, I didn't know the person.
That I ended up dating after high school.
After high school. Got you.
I had a very serious crush. What?
Okay.
I remember the first time she hugged me, and I was just like, what is that? What?
Okay. This is in Form 2.
This is in Form 2.
Okay.
Crazy.
So maombi ka nini?
No, hata yalikuwa siyo.
Yeah.
crazy.
Glory be to God.
Glory be to God. When you're going to twang na maombi wasi. Oh God. Thank you God. Hallelujah. No. I'm just saying. Glory be to God. You know.
Let me tell you. I won't mention names, but after high school, I have made out with so many people from Pango. Okay, maybe not so many. So many makes me sound like a whore, but
It's okay to be.
I did have a whole phase actually, and it was nice. But yeah, I met up with a lot of people you would not imagine. I feel like if I say the title, everybody will know who it was.
Okay.
And they probably wouldn't want their business out here. But like, more than 4 people from Pangani in the first 2 years.
Our class.
In the first 2 years
Class
after
year
high
2019.
school. Kwa class year 2019.
Go buddies.
Hey! Hallelujah!
Yeah, just putting that out there.
Okay.
Anyway, but as I got into CU more and more, still very closeted. Very, I don't talk about this. I try not to think about this, especially because also when I'm at school, like this was better for me than being at home. Yeah. So this is my time to thrive. That's why I wanted to be popular. I wanted people to know who I was. I wanted to hang out in the right circles and stuff like that. And then it just kept getting deeper and deeper. But I think, again, it was something that was just happening in the school. Like, that school was religious. Like, it was heavy on the religious stuff. The church stuff infiltrated every single thing. Like, we couldn't start something without prayers. We couldn't, like, a lot of things centered church activities. And especially CU. CU was the dominant. Was the dominant. Was CU ever divided into like
CU
Protestant?
Christian Union, by the way.
Oh, wait. So CU was for like the Protestant churches, and then YCS was for the Catholics.
Yeah.
And then now the Muslim community. Just, I don't know if they would have wanted subgroups, but they were all in one.
Okay.
They also had only one group, but the CU was the greatest. So now I was getting into the CU that was the predominant group in the school, right? And I loved it. Honestly, it gave me community. It gave me family. It made me meet amazing people. Like in my first 2 years of school, I was like hanging out with the Form 4s.
Nice.
Like the ones in CU, of course. The ones in CU.
Christ.
Yeah, in Christ.
But
again,
Christ.
Yeah, but again, never talked about anything about my feelings, about being queer. None of that. And very intentionally so, because I was scared for my life.
Yeah.
But I have also this interesting memory of my school grandma. You remember we had this system of like, you'd come into school, you get someone who kind of mentors you. So that's your school mom, and because your school mom also had a school mom, and that school mom also had a school mom. It's like a family, right?
Yeah.
I remember my grandma, my school grandma, when I was in Form 1 now. I was in Form 1. And she would bring me this like cute packages. You remember we used to have grabs that were like, grabs are snacks.
Oh my God, we used to call them grabs.
We used to have like the school kind of put the system for buying us snacks and stuff. So she'd take like a container and pack for me an assorted thing,
Mix of
popcorns, crepes, biscuits,
Chef
exactly. And then she'd write a note that says, to my school granddaughter. I was like, this girl really, she's going out of her way. Anyway, long story short, turns out she was gay.
Oh, cool, interesting. What?
She was actually suspended
she was
for that. Yeah, when
Not
she was in Form 4.
not expelled.
No, she was. I don't think they
Form
found
4.
sufficient evidence.
Okay.
However, the hell they're supposed to find evidence, they didn't find it. So she was suspended for that. But I didn't realize it was like, was she shooting her shot? Why are you shooting your shot?
Incest.
single.
Okay, no.
Anyway, so the thing is, I felt like I knew there were so many queer people, but we couldn't connect. We couldn't talk about it openly. We couldn't, like, there was none of that. It was just, I think so, but I'm so scared to ask. I can't risk asking, and then I find that we're not on the same
not-
page,
yeah.
then what?
Could land you into trouble.
Exactly. So again, never talk to anyone about it. And then Form 3, I got further deep into it. By Form 4, I was in the CU leadership. Now, when I got into the CU leadership, that's when I was like, oh, that's where the homophobia is at. I was like, wow, that's where it actually starts. It was almost like a highlight of every single meeting, you know.
Pray for them.
Yeah, pray for them. I'm like, for us. But of course, I couldn't. And it would break my heart. And I lived with that dissonance of like knowing when you're talking about them, you're talking about me.
And you're in leadership at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
ulijiombea.
Sasa tu nasema, yeah, tutaombea. But now when I go with myself, it's like I can't make peace with myself. That's why I was always surrounding myself with people. Like I couldn't spend time with myself. There was always some I hated myself. Like there was always some dissonance within me. I was always just wondering, when will it end? I just wanted to, I wanted to get out of high school just to explore my queer self. It didn't happen like that. Because in Form 4, okay, so backtracking. Now I'm part of the committee that actually plans the weekend challenge, right? And in our year, we decided to do a joint one with Starch. I don't know if you guys remember.
I met so many friends from Starch, actually.
From
Starehe
Starch.
boys.
Starch is Starehe boys.
Ulikuwa na friends touch?
We'll make friends from Starch, actually.
You made friends at that point.
At that point.
At that point.
Yeah,
like,
so
weekend
we
challenge.
decided to do a thing with Starehe boys for our weekend challenge. And now at this point, people in the CU committee started having crushes
on the
Starch boys.
on the Starch boys. And another school that we were working in very close circles with was Patch. You guys remember
Love the
Patch?
school so
Nairobi
much.
school.
Yeah, Nairobi school.
Nairobi school.
Pia mimi nakuwa surprise kwa hiyo. Wale ulikuwa unapenda patch?
Hey,
Ulikuwa unapenda Patch?
Literally, cartouchon. Sorry.
Songo
Alpanga
ilikuwa
crush.
patch. Yeah. She's about to get into other matters.
No.
I'm so intrigued, actually. What? Oh my goodness. I want that story. Anyways,
After this.
So this is like almost a core memory because of how that was one of my lowest lows. Anyway, so people like my friends are having crushes. Now our CU committees became all about talking about crushes. The boys. It became talking about the boys. We're not talking about boys from Starch, talking about boys from Patch. If it's not boys from Patch, it's boys from, what was the name of Lenana school?
Ooh, another school.
Changes.
Yeah.
Changes. And I used to be so uncomfortable and so unbelievably bored in those meetings. And I'd just be like, okay. So, but ikafika point I was like, maybe I need to pretend so I don't look so off.
Yeah.
And plus I was also popular. Or I felt like there was also this thing I used to feel like everybody's watching me or something. I don't know where this was coming from, but I was just feeling like I had pressure to always look disciplined, be disciplined, not be caught on the wrong side and stuff like that. I didn't like it. And mind you, I wasn't a cop. I wasn't like a school prefect. I was just, but I was the CU choir chair.
Yeah.
And the CU choir was like the largest ministry. I really loved that team. You were in that team? Were you in that team?
I was just drumming.
Yeah, I do remember that. You were in that team.
One
It was
of
nice.
God, guys.
Hey, mtoto wa Mungu huyu.
Amen.
So I loved that team. It was so close to my heart. I cared about every single one of them.
Yeah.
I remember one opening, either term 3, my term 3 opening, I wrote every single person in the ministry a note. And it was like, okay, now I don't think it was that. But at that point, it was like just what I thought God was telling you for the for the term.
Yeah.
And actually some people were really blessed by it, right? And I love that. I don't take away from that experience at all. Because even for me it was exactly that. It was that space to connect, find family, find people who are your tribe. Much more in music. Oh my God, of course I thrived there.
Yeah.
Because I love music. So I used to have this like songbook. Do you guys remember it? I had like a songbook with all these lyrics. I was very passionate about music back in the day.
Nyimbo za God.
Nyimbo za
Nyimbo za God
God.
for sure.
Yeah. Nakumbuka siku yenye nili after high school, when I still was getting out of like active spirituality, siku nilijifunza Susanna. I was like, this is a scene. I was like, this is almost the first secular song I know word for word.
Okay.
That was Imagine Susanna. That was in 2020, 2019.
Vile Midnight Train ilitokea.
Exactly. Anyway, I loved that ministry so much. And in as much as a lot of my time in high school was spent either judging myself, hating myself, or thinking about home and thinking about how I don't want to be there, especially, and thinking about how miserable it is that my mom doesn't know I'm going through this horrible thing. It was heavily punctuated by communing with those girls.
Yeah.
It was hands down. I don't take away from that. Like, I love that experience. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
We really found one another
Yeah,
in there,
true.
and we held each other. I think we can all attest to that. And I really tried to be there for as many people as I could. And I was a child, mind you, who was going through her own, and in my own world, in my own troubles and stuff like that. But I used to find so much fulfillment and joy in going out of my way to share the word as I knew it, or share this thing that was keeping me so happy.
Yeah.
And it was, I really got deep into it. Kuna time yenye I was so spiritual, for lack of a better word, or religious. I don't know which it was at that time, but I would spend all my preps just reading the Bible.
Yeah.
Not as
I remember that
We
story.
remember that.
Oh,
story.
guys!
Told that story, girl.
I think there's someone who
How
just
is that
came
a
to class
story?
and we're like, guys, we have mocks, papers,
Meaning,
like kuna
and
so
you're
much
just reading
pressure
the Bible.
for homework.
There's someone
but
who was telling
Kasina,
us a story. Like,
reads the
I'm
Bible.
pretty sure maybe everyone in Form 4 knew that. Like, tunasomea mocks, tunafanya nini? Kasina nasoma
Bible from start to finish. Oh.
And I wasn't even doing CRE, so so me, I was reading it for like it was my ground. It was my grounding factor, and that
Your
was
grades at
real.
this point?
They were
Like, by the time
terrible.
you-
What?
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
Kuna time nikiwa form 3, I went to like number 270 something. My mom came to school. But anyway, at that point, really, the honest thing that was going on was, the abuse was just crazy at home. It really was crazy.
Did
and
she
then,
know?
my mom didn't know. Nobody knew. Literally, nobody knew.
The
My
whole time in high school.
that guy, that guy would, alikuwa achukua panga is like a machete. He would take a machete, ukisema na kuua, na anaiweka chini ya kitanda. Nitakuua wewe na niwe mamako.
And how was mom's work schedule? Like
So
night
mom was always working. This guy contributed absolutely nothing.
Oh, shit.
We didn't even live together with the guy. So of course my mom is the one actually grinding and going out of her way to make ends meet. And at that time she was even building her house and stuff like that. So she was working like crazy, 24 hours a day. So most of my life I've raised myself, like in the sense of like staying with myself.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy solitude a lot, because I was always in the house by myself. My mom didn't hire helps and stuff like that. None of that.
So wait, this guy, like, because we had kidogo periods at home, like an April and August, a sprinkle of December there. So he'd be there during those times.
He would be there, but he would come during the weekends. So I don't see him for the whole week. Apparently, because he had another family, obviously. Where else? Apparently, because he had a whole other family. But so he would just come for the weekends. And some weekends, my mom was working. Most weekends, my mom was working, actually. So I guess my mom just didn't have a reason to not trust, to question, like, why would I not leave my child with an adult? Right? But the guy was very abusive, even eventually to my mom. Of course, eventually to my mom as well. And it got physical, and that's how they broke up. So now they were breaking up when I was finishing Form 3. And that's when shit hit the fan, actually. Because I thought like the relationship ending would give me peace and would give me this like burden off my shoulders, and I would concentrate and feel a bit better. But no, actually what happened is I got more depressed because it kept hitting me that this is what has been happening to you. It's like my brain it's like catching up now. It's like my brain had paused somewhere and then now I'm catching up. It's like, it has been 6 years of this whole thing. And so I became even more depressed. So that's how I ended up being at like position 270 something. Oh my God. And then my mom came to school and she's like, this one, they started this culture of texting our parents the results for some reason.
Yeah.
But in Form 1, no?
It wasn't in Form 1. In Form 1, we were taking to them as letters, as like the physical forms. It started later. It started
you
way
never know which
later.
day.
Form 3 ndo wazazi wangu walikuwa nashinda kuja shule. Makes sense.
Yeah, it started a bit later. So, my mom gets this text. She's like, this is... Like I've not been getting A's or B's, definitely, but definitely not a D-.
Yeah.
Like, but to be fair, D- is like a C.
That's a C+.
It's like a C-. No, it's like a C-.
D-, okay.
Juu ilikuwa inaanza 40.
Ilikuwa
In
inaanza
the 40, exactly.
D- was like a 48. Because, I was thriving there, so I know.
For context, A ilikuwa inaanza 90. So no one used to get an A.
Yeah.
So nobody was getting
Maybe the
A's.
first person, C+, B+.
Yeah. And our parents didn't want to hear. They were like, see, there are people who are performing with that system. So you are not performing? And so anyway, my mom comes to school and I wasn't ready to talk about it, but I ended up talking about it with my class teacher. My class teacher at that time was Mrs. Moria. Mrs. Moria. The games, the PE.
Oh, was she kind?
She was something.
Oh. I
don't have I'm talking about the mom. We don't have a really good memory of her mom.
We do not. I remember I'm sorry to say this, so she's the reason why I can't swim today. Okay, not can't. I don't know how to swim. Now compared to Linda swimming lessons, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, finally I learned how to swim, but I'm also very aquaphobic. Like, I am so fearful. Yeah. But I feel like if I just had guidance of being like, imagine there's nothing to fear, and I would have done it. But that first day,
you need to.
She's like, you need to float, and then me, I'm like, no, I can't see jiachilia tu hivo kwa maji. I'm like, no. You know what she told me? She told me, you're so buoyant. You can't sink.
Buoyant. No, but I remember akituambia hiyo story pia si class yetu. Like si yako. Like akituambia the bigger girls can't sing. The bigger girls can't sing. So you are the ones who are supposed to be leading.
And you're supposed to be leading. I was just like, where? Kutoka siku, I'm just always on my period during swimming classes. Because I was like, no way.
Bigger girls can't sing.
Can't sing. Hey, yo. She's like, you're buoyant.
Buoyant.
So anyway, so I talked about it with my class teacher, with my mom. It was very emotional, obviously, and stuff like that. And right after that, my mom put me into therapy, and so I wasn't feeling all that. As I said, I wasn't ready to talk about it, and it left me worse off talking about it. So I'm not even out here saying we should unpack every single trauma. Like, everything is trauma probably, but you should do it when you're really ready, because that didn't...
That first breakdown, ulikuwa na the teacher and your mom?
So the first one, I was just with the teacher. Actually, I used to be scared of my mom as well. So this is a woman who she's very strong-headed. I feel like you can get that vibe just from explaining what kind of parenting she was doing.
Yeah.
Yes, she's not like all the time with me, like presently all the time. But most of the few times we have together, sometimes and most of the times to involve a lot of violence. Like, she's beating me about something. Like, that's a lot of memories just remember. So like, I'm more scared of her than even...
teacher.
Yeah. So I actually talked to my class teacher first. Okay. My class teacher was like, yeah, we need to pull your mom in for the conversation. Wow. And then I did.
Hey, that was courageous, bro.
It was. But at that point, why it had become so triggering, despite the fact that they had already broken up with that said lover, there was just this teacher who was looking like that guy. It was triggering me. And he was my math teacher. So I couldn't...
I was a math teacher.
He became my math teacher in Form 3.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. So it was triggering as hell. Wow. I could not concentrate. And if I'm failing...
Goja, was it the same at Shona?
No.
Okay.
No.
I can't remember who it was. But...
She replaced, you remember Mrs. Ngeno, who used to...
Yeah. It's a company.
Tita. Uncle Tita. You remember? Did Mrs. Ngeno ever teach you math?
No.
Who taught you, Mr. Sako?
No, Mr.
The Mr. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So my math teacher was really triggering me, bruh. Like, wow. That was really, I could not unsee it. The first time I saw it, I could not unsee it. And of course, he has been at in that school for all those years. But for some reason at that time, it was just so, when he was up close, it was just completely shattering. And I realized, well, because he won't stop being my math teacher just because of this. So it's me who has to deal with this. Yeah. So at first I wasn't dealing with it. But now, naelekea Form 4. So I don't have a choice. Exactly. I remember the academic day for Form 4. You remember how tough our academic days were? And teachers would just take this opportunity to drag your name through the mud. Either you drag theirs or they drag yours. It was just aura for aura. Yeah. It was aura, like if you know you failed, you go ready to attack the teacher. And or vice versa, the teacher is also ready to just attack you if they're asked, why is my child not performing? I remember that academic day, the final one for Form 4, my mom and her brother, my uncle, came as like now my parents and guardian. And when we went to the deputy principal's office, who's now also my math teacher, I used to perform well in math. So I didn't think I needed to be tensed up or anything. So I'm just entering the office. I'm like, this is going to be a one and done. I perform well in I'm the math captain, of course. Yeah. My results were good. I was actually getting A's in math with that system. Okay. So I was good at math. Yeah. And then I just hear my uncle going, Mwalimu, I want this girl to repeat Form 3.
Excuse me?
I was just like, huh? I feel like we should have discussed this. Yeah. Like, I know I'm not performing that well. I'm not getting A's and B's, but like...
Repeat
the whole class. And mind you, I have not been consulted on this at all. Yeah. So I'm there in the office. Even my math teacher is just looking at me like, hey? Girl, what the hell are you getting in the other subjects? Yeah. Like, this is crazy. So anyway, that's just a picture of how bad it had been for all these years without me noticing that slowly I was approaching like the final year and it wasn't a good look. Like, it was not looking like I was gonna recover in any way and go back to the top. And my relatives are worried and stuff. Anyway, so Form 4 was a lot of collecting myself together, a lot of compartmentalizing. I enjoyed the community that came with church, I won't lie. At that point in the system, I would recognize I didn't realize that it had any elements of toxicity. Especially and probably only because it was working for me. Like it was on my good side, or rather I was benefiting from that system, essentially, let's say that. Because, for example, there's no way I would have had such kind of a community without being in CU and without being in the church and stuff like that. I probably would have lost myself a lot more. Yeah. So I do recognize that. But in hindsight, damn, when I really look at it, I'm like, there were so many elements of toxicity, many elements of, it's what I was talking about, people being put in survival mode. Like you don't feel it when it's almost a cult. So now let's get to the cult stories.
Yes. Hey. a cult, but religious psychosis.
The
Where,
psychosis.
yo, the
What was
psychosis.
happening? I think in the first time takuwa na an insider story.
Because
This is gonna be an insider story.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? How did it all start? So we come to Form 4 term 3. We're opening school. This was the weather, or rather the political climate. Let me
Yeah.
call it the political climate. The political climate. So we've just come from the August holiday where we were interacting with all these people from CU from other schools, Kina Patch, Starch.
Yeah.
And this was the time now those conversations I was talking about were very like, oh, what did you guys talk about? You were with who? Oh, you have a crush on who? And this is what you guys talked about. And it was like a CU thing, not just the CU committee. It was just a lot in the CU, even other members of like just the CU as well. And that was the kind of conversation that started. And this girl that I think if anybody went to that school knows exactly what I'm talking about, at the start of the term still started this like prayer group. Innocently, as I'd like to assume, right?
Intercessors type.
Yeah, it was like an intercessors type. She just took like a few of her friends and they'd get together and pray about stuff. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing
Happened all the
wrong.
time.
Happened all the time, actually. We literally had Bible studies that were things like that.
I was
but
literally in
morphing.
a Bible study group, actually.
Yeah, I was. Were you ever BS leader?
No. Mrs. Jui, nilikuwa sijui and
I also don't even remember my own BS.
Yeah.
Me, I remember coming to your Bible study.
Oh, you came to my
Like,
Bible
kwa quadrant
study.
ya Robin House.
Wow. I don't even remember the name of that Bible
Hata
study.
niskumbuki.
But okay. So anyway, that was the environment. And I remember just noticing the group and saying, okay, like I didn't think that much about it. But quickly I noticed they were coming together as they were bonded by stories they were sharing from the holiday. So I think, I'm not sure because I wasn't in the insider of that side.
I
I was in the
see.
insider of this other
Yeah.
side. So, but I think that was the uniting factor because it united people from different ministries. That's why I got skeptical. It's like, what were choir, what were intercessors, what were praise and worship, like what would they have in common?
Yeah.
Because essentially in those ministries, they were like Bible studies. Like you would have ministry meetings and you'd meet and pray, which is what these guys were doing, meeting and praying. So after like the first 2-3 weeks, more people joined that Bible study group, like and it started becoming very eerie. Eerie is the word. Like it started having like the vibes were just off, or so I felt. I started feeling like there's something that's just not sitting right. I don't know what it is, but something is
There's
just a problem somewhere.
Yeah.
So may I ask MJ, my best friend at the time? I asked her, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this
Bible study.
Bible study? And she's like, hey, at home I notice, ni weird. It's weird. I'm like, oh, you think it's weird? Like, what do you think is going on?
She was in it.
No,
She was not.
She was not.
Oh, okay.
She was on the other side.
Was
Okay.
it the Robin House Room 5? I'm trying to see whether it was that.
Yeah, okay.
But now MJ was not in that group. She
Yeah.
was caught up in that group.
Oh, I see.
And that's how the fights started actually.
Oh.
Okay, continue.
So I ask MJ and we talk about it and shout out MJ, hi. I asked her, I'm like, hey, weird. And then we're working from class with someone else and the conversation comes up and she also says now this was the person in the CU committee. They also say, you know what? You're right. You see, this is how I started a cult because I was just like a small idea. And I was like, what do you think? Not even, I think they're crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, what do you think? And the moment you just validate someone's terrible instinct, that's how it grew actually. So the third person came in and they were like, so after every time we conclude this is weird or something weird is happening, of course the conversation will just end with let's pray about it.
Mlikuwa in Christ.
Tulikuwa in Christ. Tulikuwa hivi. So I just like, yeah, let's pray about it. So again, you know how rumors used to spread in that school. So within like 3-4 days, even me, the people who have been asked by either me or MJ or the third person, we're now like 7 of us. And 5 or 4 of us are in the CU committee. So more and more, this looks like the right group versus the wrong group. Because us guys are in the CU committee and we're like 5 of us. So essentially we'd meet. Me, in my head, I thought we're meeting to pray about this thing. Because we don't know what it is. I was like, I wouldn't want to go and just call someone and ask them, what are you doing?
What is going on?
And we can see that they're just praying and getting together and communing in Jesus and stuff like that. But so now it started looking like I also have a group that is praying against this other group. Me, I wasn't praying against nobody. I was just praying and so it started looking like I have a group that prays against this other group, and this group is praying against my group. But again, the bias is because my group has more people in the CU committee, it looks like it's a wrong versus a right versus wrong. And also, especially because remember, like the leader of that group during a lot of church.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was wondering how to bring that up.
Family.
I was trying to bring how to bring that up because she was like, she was an interesting character, you know. And mind you, she was also in my ministry. She was actually in choir. And she was also among the people I wrote to a note at the beginning of that term. Do you guys remember when I said about the note?
Yeah.
Hey, that note just beat me in the ass during the board meeting. Yo! And I was just like, was this not led by the Holy Spirit?
Board meeting?
Wait, how did
Like
you
the
get
board
to
meeting for the suspension now. Now we're gearing up towards the suspension.
Okay.
So this is around 1 month in. And term 3, mind you, was a short term. And also it's the term now we're just waiting to do
Short
the
and
exam.
intense
KCSE.
kind
We're completely intense because of the KCSE that is around the corner. So when I say by month 1, like this is half the term already.
Yeah.
And so by month 1, like now this rumors started spreading and it actually became like fear mongering because it was coupled with a lot of other things. More than just the meeting and praying, there started becoming issues of like prophecies and like those
I
very
remember that
religious.
predicted people's KCSE grades.
Oh, she did?
Who was that?
The prophetess herself.
too.
The prophetess herself, and people believed.
Yeah. Kwa won't kupata minus.
Is that how she had a following?
No, may I remember on the Robin
Is that
House
what?
side of
Is that
things,
what people? Is that what drew
like,
people to her?
I don't know, but there's a time
Like
when
there are
she had
like
predicted.
every single time we had like TV, we have to discuss about that group, like
Yeah, she
because
had
especially they even recruited people in their room, like it was deep like that.
Recruited.
Wait, okay.
Kwani mimi sikuwa cult leader mwenye ako proactive.
For lack of a better word, because
Recruitment.
half of that room, let me say half, it got crazy. Yeah.
So me, I wasn't in that block. I was on the other block,
Yeah,
and you know we
block
couldn't.
A, block B, yeah.
Interblock.
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 We literally had a term for it. Yeah, interblocking. So me, I was on block A. They were in block B. So that I remember hearing that story from my best friend at the time because she was like at the epicenter.
Yeah.
She was at the epicenter of where the things originated. My best friend, my current best friend. Also from high school, by the way.
Oh, nice.
She told me not to say her name, but I wish I
No,
could.
it's not.
But we're also in the CU committee with her.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I also have a version of her story of that day because apparently the CU committee of Block B, they were called to that room to go and like pray and see what's happening and stuff like that. So she gets into the room and she just finds like people just wiggling on the floor and screaming.
Crazy
and
work, bro.
yeah, it was like almost like an exorcism or something that was going on.
It was such an scary experience.
It was from how I heard it, it
Yeah.
definitely sounded like very intense, very
It sounded
intense.
so wrong. Like it was just What the hell?
Mnomba nini?
Exactly. Yeah. And they would do that a lot of times. They would pretend it was like this uncontrollable thing that when it catches you, it has to catch you, and you just have to get deep into it. And speaking in tongues and writing those tongues. Like
they even allegedly, I can't remember well, but they had their own language.
That's what I'm saying, writing the tongues.
Yeah.
They would literally write in tongues. And honestly, if you are a scholar and you've gotten there and that sounds like fun, wow. I mean, good for you. Yeah. But it was scary. I can imagine how this started kind of instilling fear in the whole school. Literally, that's what was written in my suspension letter. Yeah. I caused chaos in the school.
Crazy. Me unajua just kwa najua you went for suspension. How did we get there?
You didn't know I went for suspension 2 weeks to KCSE.
I feel like I just remember there was a board meeting. I can't remember the suspension.
Wow.
Me, I remember suspension. Yeah, the lesbians were announced in church. Sorry guys, our school was very trippy.
It was. It actually was.
I remember that, but sikumbuki ya CU people.
So after that incident, the Robin House incident.
Yeah.
Shortly,
we were in Robin House, by the way.
Oh, they were both in Robin. Yeah. I was in Eagle House, I think.
Okay.
Or something in Block. It was on the ground floor.
I think Eagle.
I think it was also Eagle. So after that, now the next there was a couple of incidences after that. Now after that, it followed the screaming in church, and now.
Okay, sorry.
So when the screaming in church one literally happened right next to me.
You, yeah.
Well, me bado inakwanga one of my most depressing days high school.
Like, had you guys discussed beforehand?
I
was just as shocked. I was just as shocked. I was just like,
did you guys have a conversation about it? How was it? Like, bro, that was scary.
It was so scary, especially because for me it came out of nowhere. Like in my head, it came out of nowhere, and I just like sat next to her, and she just like starts screaming these names. I'm like, huh? What? What is
on my end? So remember we used to hold hands while praying?
Oh yeah.
I was holding hands with one of the babes mwenye jina yake ilisemwa.
What did she do, man?
And I felt her hands go cold. Like tumeshikana. Mkono zako zilikuwa so warm, like vile right now. Then her hand just went cold.
No way.
Oh my God, that must have been so trippy.
Yeah, and like lesbianism in school was top tier. It's treason.
Yeah. Actually, like arson, actually. So that was the incident that got the admin involved now after that. And then after that, the stories went all the way and came back to me. And that's how I ended up getting suspended. So out of all the names that were mentioned, some were eventually suspended for that, like for the basis of homosexuality. But now the one that couldn't be put on the basis of homosexuality, but still, I guess the admin still felt the school needed to calm down or something. So anyway, in getting to this prophetess's story, now I became involved because apparently I didn't realize I was such a source of insecurity. Like my name was just on her lips. It was just, I was triggered by faith. Literally also in my letter it said I judged someone's religion wrongly. Can you imagine that?
That was the cause of suspension.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I caused chaos in the school and I judged a student's religion wrongly, causing them to react negatively. I'm like, first of all, to react negatively in a newswaje, right? Like, what's that got to do with me?
Suspension pia?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just more of the fear factor, because I remember coming back from the suspension.
It was 2 weeks.
It was 1 week. It was 2 weeks to KCSE. So I couldn't stay home that long either. I actually missed my prayer day. So I was coming to debrief. I had been sent from the deputy principal's office to the principal's office to debrief on the prayer day, get the gifts and the things that were handed out. And when I went to the principal's office, as I was walking out, or like as we're having the conversation, she didn't apologize, not so much in those words, But at the end of the conversation, she just said, this won't go on your school record. And, success in your exams. And she gave me like a ton of sweets. I don't even know if the rest of you had sweets. I was given like a ton of sweets. I felt like she was almost feeling guilty for something. Because she was just like, it's like you didn't have to go through this. Because even during the suspension itself, when my mom was 8 months pregnant at that time when I was suspended. So when in the room, this is now the second time my whole high school life I'm in the principal's office. She was trying to be very diplomatic and just saying the school needs to calm down. There's just a bit of unrest. That's what she was just hinting at. But she started with saying, first of all, I've never had a problem with your daughter. I've never called her into my office. That's how she prefaced it. And you remember the deputy principal who was just insufferable? Now it was her role there to be like, yeah, she deserves to go. She deserves to do this. And she confiscated all my stuff, like my notebooks, my church notebooks, as if for her, she believed I was deep in it. Like I was, for sure, I had started my own cult and stuff. So she confiscated all my notebooks. She literally gave this to me after the exams. But the principal, on the other hand, was very kind, and she was very motherly about it as well. And she just said, this won't go on your school record, so don't think about that. Just work hard and recover the time you've lost. She was just very sweet in general. So that made me kind of feel bad. That is, you remember again, after the suspension, there was a tension. There's a bit of tension in the school. For me, that tension was just a lot of anger. I wasn't ready and willing to listen to the other side of the story. I was just like, whatever side of the story got me the hell suspended, I don't want to hear nothing about it. But most people, because also that side also had people from CU, people I also work with, right? So they're like, just apologize, clear the tension. I'm like,
apologize to who?
Me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I can't apologize. I just felt wronged in that instance. So I think we ever had like a very pretentious reconciliation conversation. Well, right now I don't know how I'd feel about it. Right now I wouldn't care. I wouldn't exactly care. But at that time it was crazy. I actually got suspended for the first time, 2 weeks to KCSE. For a whole week. Crazy. Yeah. Because of some religious schools, yeah, exactly. Crazy. Yeah, so that
was an experience.
It was. I genuinely believe I could have started a cult if I wanted to.
Yeah, you would. That's crazy. But there was kulikuwa na your tension for sure.
The tension was there.
Like it was crazy. I feel at some point I was also scared. And it was scary too.
What was the
first
fear
off,
for you?
Maybe from a point of familiarity, because we came from the same family with the prophetess, now the school family.
Tulikuwa familia na
like tulikuwa family. We had a school family. Like we've had like the mom, the grandma, the great grandma. Like the end for our family, by the way, we were very tight. We're very strong. We'd have meetings, talk about it.
How are you in the same family if you're in the same class?
Yeah, what was this family?
Huh?
How are you in the same family if you're in the same class?
Family, like
the
parents. I don't know. Our grandmas were
sisters. Oh, your grandmas were sisters. How will you extend it?
Grandmas were sisters. Like it was serious like that. And then at the time also we used to have what else in the same room, the junior room. So there was that bond and everything. Even before we did tulikuwa dispersed, everyone went to a different senior room. Kulikuwa na tu na koka bond. So it was scary because then it was like, this is my school family, what is going on? Like,
but what was the fear of being associated with her though?
Prophetess, and also one of them too, the other one too. Like ilikuwa watu wawili kwa familia yangu ni manabii kwa shule. Like manabii wa shule. Yeah, like it was just Yeah.
But what was the fear of being associated with her though?
It was just like, it was not making sense. Like, it was crazy. I'm telling you, the way they'd speak.
Right, they made that shit so culty.
Yeah,
you
when
know,
they
I'm
were
just gonna
working
come out and say it.
Like their
Keep it
honor, how they'd wear. I don't know, they'd wear scarf.
And they had names
They
as
had
well.
names. Like it was a weird
ilikuwa deep
experience. It
They
was
had
deep,
like
that I'm
angel
telling
names,
you.
like Ariel,
I'm
Raphael.
telling you, they had their own language. I'm telling you, they had their own kuna venye wangeongea haunge get, but na wao ni kaongekuwa they were understanding each other.
Yeah, it was
so
some
there was
deep
that cafe. I'm like, you know, we studied these people from one visit. This is scary. What the hell is
That's
going
exactly
on?
what I said.
Yeah, like
that's exactly what I said. It was like, this group is
concern.
weird.
It was weird.
So, you know, I never saw it this way, but one of the funniest outcomes of this whole thing was, so we had like a debrief in the CU after my suspension. Now, the CU, you remember, what was her name?
CU teacher?
The CU patron. Yes. So the CU patron calls the CU committee for a meeting to debrief on this tension in the school. And she said things like, I was the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, for what?
I was like, wait, Kwani story? What is the story going on? Because for her, she was like, I was just the sacrificial lamb. Like this didn't need to happen. I was just suspended so that the school would be fair and stuff like that. So I was the one who took one for the CU.
Okay.
I didn't even. I didn't even think what.
That was crazy.
But that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Even just from hearing that as the debrief, like what do you mean? Because I didn't feel like I really didn't feel like that inside me. But of course, retrospectively looking at it is like, wow, maybe it was giving cult. Maybe it really was giving
from Sisi watu wa huku nje. It was scary. Like it was just a weird experience. Like,
it was.
And genuinely, it was not making sense to me. Still doesn't make sense. Maybe it did make sense to them.
You know, for me, where the weirdness started, I had this friend in my class that we were so close, and then all of a sudden, she became friends with them and started going out, like hanging out with them, and she completely changed. She's like, she would start doing weird stuff. She wouldn't talk to me. And we were like super, super close before that. And I was like, oh, what the hell is this?
What like cults ni real?
So that was actually a cult.
That was a cult. That was.
Yeah, because she, totally different person. She would even look at me like I'm not understanding the level that she's on.
On a spiritual realm.
Yeah, it used to be that. It used to be we are the most
Closer to
spiritual,
God.
closer to God.
Yeah.
God tells me and me
I'll
you.
tell
Like, I
you,
hear
the
the
Lord.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my opposition journey, which apparently I just think it was an opposition journey. My opposition journey was just about praying about all that. But apparently I took one and I was this
sacrificial lamb.
lamb.
Oh my God. What would you say the Kenyan school experience has shaped you as a person?
The Kenya high school experience has shaped me as a person. I think a lot of the empathy and my ability to connect with people came from there. Okay. And I thrive now in my professional life because of that, right? Like I can talk to anyone.
Nice.
And it came from those moments of when someone was always feeling low and they thought I had all the answers. I did not, obviously. And that's why I guess I always felt this pressure to always look at the Bible and always find something to tell anyone who would come to me. Yeah. But it was in those moments that I would connect with people so deeply. Someone would just tell you their worst life experiences. And even despite the fact that I'm also going through terrible experiences myself, I would make space and make room for them. I'm not saying this in a like I'm mad about that way. Yeah. Genuinely, that is what it shaped a lot of who I am today. How well I'm able to just listen, how well I'm able to empathize and
And where are you right now? By where are you, I mean mentally, your sexual orientation, professionally, like where are you right now basically?
Whoa, right now I am That is an interesting question. You never think about these questions, do you? Okay.
Just saying, because like we have such a heavy backstory.
Oh, such a heavy backstory. Like where
Where
we
we
landed.
landed. Yeah.
Okay. The past couple of years have just been very interesting in terms of like self-discovery, being self-aware, going to therapy, and not going to therapy as well, just sitting with myself, growing myself, and learning 1,000 things about. I have still questioning every single thing in this world, and I always encourage people question everything, every single thing. And that's one of kind of the headspaces I've been. Professionally, I'm also doing well.
What field are you in?
I am in healthcare.
Nice.
Like mommy?
I like mommy, but very differently. Actually, it's not even Kenyan healthcare; it's US healthcare. I work for a company called Payset, that is a data infrastructure company. Something that has actually intrigued a lot of my interest in looking at the current healthcare pricing system we have in Kenya. It's very less transparent. You're not able to compare a price between Kenyatta Hospital and Nairobi Hospital before you receive a service, right? Or even a generic drug versus a branded drug, I mean medicine. There's a difference of like 2,000%.
Yeah, true.
These are things like we have no clue about. So I've been studying this. I've actually written a paper about this because I believe that transparency would kind of help everybody. Like it's not just one player in the market. As a patient, you're getting the help you need. As an employer, you're able to know the best schemes for your employees. As the government, you're better able to audit and allocate funds and stuff like that. So I've just been researching heavily into creating price transparency just in general in the Kenyan health system. I've done a submission to what is this called, benefits and tariffs at BPTAP. They're an advisory committee that have been mandated by SHA to make sure that the pricing in Kenya makes sense, for example, under that scheme. So anyway, hopefully we get to hear something from them. Nice. But yeah, just hoping to move into such spaces. I think I'll get a lot into healthcare policies and stuff. Okay, nice. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yay, congratulations.
Sexually speaking, very single, you guys. I'm very single.
In this time of the month,
I think here at this point, first I'll say to any queer person watching, I see you. Feel so validated, and happy Pride Month. Feel so validated. Like I feel growing up, we didn't have voices. We didn't have anyone that would tell you can love who you love. It's not. It's a no-brainer. It's supposed to be a no-brainer that you really can't just love who you love at the end of the day. Love has no gender, right? So I hope you feel validated. Happy Pride Month. Go out, titties out, thighs out, show up, feel nice. Happy Pride Month. So
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
I have now openly been queer for a while, like my parents know and stuff.
How did they react about that?
In a short response during the episode we went.
Okay. In a short, so people came, like I think I told one person in my family, and then
word spread.
Word spread, and I was asked, I was just like, so terrible.
Guy.
Oh.
How's the relationship with mom?
Actually, it's terrible. We are estranged, but in all fairness, I always wanted to be estranged from my mom. Like from when I was like 13, I always knew this was not a relationship I wanted to pursue. I don't have, my pain around it is more in the anger of the parent she was. I wish she was a better parent. I recognize she did her best. I recognize that she went out of her way to really give me a good life. I love that. I always appreciate her for that. I won't But in the sense of building a relationship with me, I feel like that's a parent's responsibility towards their child. There's no way a relationship between a parent can ever have the responsibility on the child, because the child is the child, right? And I feel like after all my many years of trying to work something out, it's time I became the child. So it's not estrangement from a point of I want you dead. Yeah. It's just from a point of, if we're gonna have a relationship, it's going to be intentional. It's going to be two-sided, and it's not going to be based on any kind of manipulation. It's not going to be based on any kind of misunderstanding or mistreatment. Or like that, I'm your parent, listen to me without questioning. And because that's how she raised me, a lot of it. It was like, you can't question, you can't, like, my word is my word. It's a final say. And I recognize that obviously she was parenting best she knew, right? And from also her own life experiences and stuff like that. I get that. I validate it as, I get it. But is it a good enough reason for me? Unfortunately, it's not.
Valid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like now you're free. It feels free.
It is.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when you
actually.
shared on your story, me, I knew, I was like, Kasina! Excuse me? Like, because it's a shock to us, because I'm like, this is not the person you knew
In high school. In high school, interestingly enough, by the way, for any queer person watching, it is a journey. It is, and give yourself grace. And also, at some point, to be honest, I also had my own internalized homophobia. Like, I didn't start dating people of the same gender right after high school. There was still a lot of my own homophobia of like, I can't do this. And I also dated men, actually. So it's not like I see you. I just want to say I see you. I see you. And sometimes it's not easy. When you look at the statistics of people who have died from like queer related violences, oh my goodness, it is shocking. And it is not, and you are hearing it as a statistic, but these are real people. And they don't deserve that kind of treatment. So send your love. If you have queer friends, learn how to love them in their queer selves. And everybody is, at the end of the day, you love who you love. I feel like it's so valid. Like, it really doesn't matter. It really, I pray and I always hope for a world where coming out is not even a concept. Why do you have to come out? Like, nobody is straight and just saying, hi, my name is Bridget and I'm straight. Like,
I love men.
Like, no, nobody's doing that. And so we need not alienate this concept and be like, oh, just because it's not how we've been brought up. And a lot of people even saying this is Western culture. Just go to your history books, darling. Like, obviously it is not Western culture. If anything, when you're saying this is not in accordance with the Bible is something that is more Western than any African culture we have. So at the end of the day, just extend love. It really, you can't be, your religion or whatever it is, you feel like in your ideals, this is what you stand for. The fact that you wouldn't condone that or you wouldn't be a queer person. And I get that. But you also don't have to villainize. You don't have to attack, assault, kill. You know, you don't have to go out of your way for that, because the existence is doing nothing, absolutely nothing to you. If anything, that violent reaction really should make you introspect. You might be gay.
You might be.
You might be
85% chance you are gay. And it's okay.
It's and okay. Also to just put this, I don't know if you've already mentioned it, is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm actually a misandrist. I don't care that much about men, but I have recently been looking at the statistics of suicide, and oh my goodness, did you know 80% of all the suicide cases in Kenya are men? That is shocking. Crazy. 80% is, we're not supposed to be ignoring this. This is 80% of a figure like 100,000. So that is a shocking statistic. And the study showed further that it was because they did not ask for help, right? Or even the ones that were diagnosed were not properly treated and things like that. And they go into substance abuse and they go into all kinds of activities, really. But it boils down to men's mental health. And I think that people should be more, and men, please take care of yourselves.
Too.
Exactly. Take care of yourself. Talk about it. Go to therapy. Yeah.
And just remember, a lot of problems are a conversation away from solving. Like, talk to someone
about it.
And opening up your emotions is not supposed
it's not
to
a sign
be
of weakness.
Because I think that's the mentality that
it's not a sign of weakness.
Like, I feel like nikama our expectation, like to say us women are supposed to talk about the men's mental health month, but then again I'm like,
it's like I get that,
because these are the same people who can speak about it. You're weak, you're feminine, and I'm like, that is not supposed to be the case.
And this is why I usually say men also suffer under the patriarchy.
Like,
literally, our whole system tells you. The study also showed like most of that stress was from financial stress and 72% of those men believed that they have a societal responsibility to be financially on top of others. And I'm like, imagine that's just patriarchy. Do you go, like, you don't you do not have to conform to all this. If you cannot provide for yourself, let alone someone else, don't conform to it. Like, don't be there. Take care of yourself at the end of the day. Yeah.
This was so amazing. Why? Ilikuwa very eye-opening. I'm telling you, quick
question. The mama from primary.
From microphone.
You mentioned kwamba mlikutana a quick one. How did it go on?
Like, okay, I anauliza the kids from the girlfriend were high school. You guys later. Primary, the kids from your girlfriend in high school. You guys
in
later.
primary school.
Oh, primary school.
We met in camp. We didn't meet, but we reconnected in campus.
Oh.
Very anticlimactic. Extremely. Like, I bet you what you're thinking.
Like, was it like high and...
No. It was like, I'm straight now.
What the
See, I told you were not expecting it.
Tough.
Wow.
Where?
Yeah, she actually just told me I just haven't received good
Penis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very anticlimactic. I was like, you might have turned me gay. What are you saying? Might have.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I got a happy ending.
Okay.
But my high school crush had a happy ending. We dated for 2 years.
I feel like I know the person.
I wasn't that closeted about. I think
Maybe.
you do know the person.
We may know the person. We'll confirm outside. But
yeah, we did date for 2 years.
That's amazing.
At some point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been amazing. I literally have enjoyed. You know how to
narrate
tell a story. And then your vocabulary, like I was like, good girl. Like,
it was very insufferable.
Insufferable. No, like I love your storytelling skills.
Thank you. I had a podcast.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm getting back to it this year. It's called The Unlikely Confessions of a 20-something.
Nice. Get
I will. You start with audio only. Like, just get your story out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for validating that.
Yeah, and we'll support for sure. Like most stories zinahitajika sana. We need more narrative podcasts. And kuna so many experiences that need to be told. So please start.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Actually, I started an organization around storytelling of queer stories.
Nice.
It's called we're called the Storytellers KE. We haven't done like a get together in a festival in a minute, but that's the essential thing. Yeah. So about like gathering stories, queer stories around Africa. Okay, when we get back to it,
go for it.
Look for us.
Okay. Sawa, thank you guys for watching GITHERI Diaries. I have been your host Bridget Agola. You have been
Owino
and Kasina.
Have had a good time. Share it with a friend. Share it to Pangani girls. They need to know the tea.
They do need the tea.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Till we meet again.
Bye.